Of the Select Board to order, we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I have a few announcements this evening. A community yard sale is happening this Saturday, May 6th. There are 27 houses signed up, and several more participants will be on the Common from 9 to 2 p.m. The Grafton Gazebo Road Race is the following weekend on Saturday, May 13th, with sign-ups available until May 9th at tinyurl.com/Grafton5K2023. There will be no same-day registration. The Grafton Planning Department is seeking volunteers for the Master Plan Working Group. The updated master plan will serve as a vision and policy guide for the town. Email the town planner at planningdept@grafton-ma.gov to participate in the process and help guide Grafton's future.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
the master plan is really important. So I just want to emphasize that, this is our sort of guiding document for the vision of Grafton. The last one that was done in 2001. This is your chance to participate and kind of shape the future of Grafton. So it's a really important activity.
Thank you. The town of Grafton is proud to introduce its first townwide curbside composting program in partnership with Black Earth Composting. The first 500 residents who sign up will receive a free composting starter kit. Visit grafton-ma.gov/855/composting for more information. And the Springtown meeting will begin at 7 p.m. in the Grafton High School auditorium on Monday, May 8th, 2023. So up first, we're going to take one item out of order, and we have representatives from the Grafton Food Bank with us here tonight. If we have a couple representatives who may want to come up to the podium.
Don't all jump at once.
Right up to the podium, please. So if you wouldn't mind introducing yourselves.
Sure. My name is Jessica Mello, and I serve as the current president of the Grafton Food Bank.
And I'm Joan Foley, and I serve as the vice president of the Grafton Food Bank.
And Owen Carr, I'm the treasurer.
Thank you. And the Grafton Food Bank is here with us tonight. This evening we actually all got a tour of the Grafton Food Bank and got to see the wonderful work that they're doing and how they do it, and the expansion that they were able to do recently, which is just unbelievable, the amount of work they're doing. And we are presenting them with a proclamation from the Select Board in honor of their 30th anniversary. Be it hereby known that the Grafton Select Board offers its sincerest gratitude and congratulations to the Grafton Food Bank in recognition of its 30th anniversary. The board wishes the organization continued success in all of its endeavors.
Thank you.
Okay. If you'd like to.
Thank you all for your support.
Thank you for your hard work.
All right. Up next is Select Board appointments. We have the Agricultural Commission, Paul Knowlton. Yeah.
Good evening. Thanks for seeing me.
How are you?
Very good, thank you.
If you could just tell us a little bit about
I'm Paul Knowlton. I'm a 7th generation Graftonite, 5th generation working the farm that we have on Estabrook Road. And obviously born and raised here, and married with 9 children, all at different ages. I have a serious. So. I'm sorry.
I would hope so.
I have a serious interest in agriculture and keeping it alive in Grafton. I've been revitalizing our farm down there at Estabrook Road, and I thought maybe I had something to give to the commission. That's kind of a fledgling commission from what I understand, and I think I have something I could add to that.
Very nice. Does
Excellent.
the board have any questions or comments?
Paul, I just want to say that I worked with your father
Okay.
and your grandfather. I don't want to tell you how old I am, but when I was a little kid delivering milk,
Okay.
and it was great.
Those were great days.
Yep.
They really were.
So for anybody that might not know, Mr. Knowlton was one of the pioneers of agrivoltaic work here in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge fan of what you guys are doing up there.
Yeah, trying to take it all into the next century.
Next generation farming.
Nice,
Keep it up.
nice marriage, and it's working out. We're having great success with it.
Fantastic. I'm glad to hear that.
Great.
All right.
Any other question?
I can take a motion.
I move the board vote to appoint Paul Knowlton to the Agricultural Commission.
Second. Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Declare the motion carried. Congratulations.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Paul. We'll be passing over the Board of Registrars this evening, and now we're going to the permanent full-time police officer, Matthew Gurnian?
Garinian.
Gurnian? Okay.
Garinian.
Gurnian?
Garinian, yep.
I am so sorry, Officer
Okay.
Gurnian.
So he's not joining us tonight, he's on a different shift,
Yes.
but will be joining us at a future meeting to meet the community.
Perfect, so we can just take a motion?
I move the board vote to affirm the appointment of Matthew Granian to the position of permanent full-time police officer.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Declare the motion carried. We have a full-time custodian, Joseph Coney.
I move the board vote to affirm the appointment of Joseph Piccone to the position of full-time maintenance custodian.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion?
It's Pacone.
Piccone.
Pacone.
My apologies.
I think I set you up on that. My
I'll
bad.
give him your address.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Declare the motion carried. And then we have two fire chief appointments. If you'd like to come up and tell us a little bit about them, Chief.
Good evening.
How was your golf game, by the way?
I don't go by score, I go by how many balls I lose, and in 9 holes, I only lost 1 this time.
Hey,
so,
okay, that's pretty good.
Pretty good. Tonight, I'm here to have you affirm the appointments of Lieutenant Tom Mulcahy to interim captain in order to replace retired Captain Bob Egan after his 30 years of service. I know the board has something planned for Bob at a later meeting. Knowing him, he's probably camping tonight. So.
No, he's golfing.
Oh, there you go. Lieutenant Mulcahy has served the fire department for 48 years, the last 30 as lieutenant of Station 2. Unfortunately, he's not able to join us tonight because of a work conflict, and that's the way it works with a call fire department. You never know when you're going to be around. So, the other appointment is for interim lieutenant of Station 2, and we have firefighter Eric John with us tonight. Come on up, Eric. Eric's a member of the department for 23 years and has worked with me recently helping out with the recruitment committee, and they're doing amazing work with that. You're going to see a lot of stuff coming out in the next couple months. I don't know, you keep haunting me in the office every couple of days with new information, so it's going really good. And for years, Eric has helped out with the SAFE program and doing a lot of educational work with the schools and stuff over the years, and he's also part of our new SAFE committee. So,
Excellent.
Eric John,
Nice to
new
meet you.
lieutenant.
All right. Does the board have any questions or comments?
Nope, just congratulations, and if there's anything we can do to help promote recruitment events, please do let us know.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we have open house at all 3 stations coming up May 20th that we're going to be promoting very soon and getting that out there.
Yep, seen that on Facebook. Excellent.
Great. Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move to affirm the appointment of Thomas Mulcahy as interim captain of Station 2, and firefighter Eric John as interim lieutenant of Station 2.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Declare the motion carried. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you for coming
Thanks so
in, Chief.
much.
I just wanted to note, to thank the firefighters for the things that you guys do when you're not on a call and just helping the community. For me personally, for sure, last week. So thank you so much to the whole department.
I'll let him know.
Up next is an update from the Veterans Advisory Committee.
Used the podium today. I had to throw Bob off. Name's Justin Stone. I'm the chairman of the Veteran Advisory Committee. Bob DeToma is the vice chair.
and we've been around for a little over a year now. Thought we'd come in and give you all an update on what all we've been doing to let you know that we don't just sleep during our meetings. We're actually doing things like coming up with new jokes. We're the comic relief. So the first thing that we wanted to do is we needed to reach out to all the veterans. So we worked with Justin before he left, and we were able to send out, I think it was about 750 letters to veterans. Out of that, we got a whopping 30 back. So if you know any veterans, please get the word out and tell them to come and give us their information so we can reach out to them. But out of those 30, a lot of them had questions. So we were working with Justin and now Jeff to answer their questions, things like the PACT Act, which Agent Orange, the burn pits and things like that are now covered by the VA. And that drove a lot of questions, a lot of veterans curious how that would change their benefits. So we were able to get that information out. We also did a food drive over the holidays. We were able to get about a truckload of food and toiletry items that we delivered up to the DAV in Gardner. They have a homeless shelter for veterans up there. So we were able to stock up their food pantry over the holidays. And we also split it between the local Grafton Food Bank. Our primary purpose is focusing on veterans here in Grafton. However, the food bank does a great job of supplying them, and we really didn't have see any need for the veterans here from the information that we had. So we wanted to reach out to the homeless veterans up north. We actually have another food drive going on right now. The intent behind these is trying to find those low points when food banks start running low. April was one of the times that was mentioned. So if you have any food that you'd like to donate, you can check out any of the Catholic parishes. There's boxes there. There's a box in GCTV and also in Unibank. So non-perishable food items, preferably not expired, because we have to go through and we actually have to sort all that out, as well as toiletry items. We also just had an Honor a Vet Day at Woosocks. So we had 2 Grafton vets that were selected. One of them, unfortunately, with the weather, he declined, but they're trying to honor him sometime during the week as well. And this is something that we're looking to build up our relationship with them. They do a lot of things for veterans throughout the year. They did a veterans dinner last year. Unfortunately, we weren't able to make it all work out, but we intend to push that out and get some of our veterans honored there as well. We recently did a meet and greet last Wednesday. We had about 12 to 15 veterans show up. It was here in the senior center. And once again, just a lot of questions, introducing who we are, what we're here for. It's small things. It's things like, can I get an ID card? What kind of benefits am I eligible for based off of my service? And you would be surprised that the benefits that come with some of the smallest amounts of service out there that they don't know about. So we're really trying to get the word out. That's really where we feel we need to focus our time right now, is getting out to all the veterans in Grafton, letting them know that we're here. Unfortunately, we can only contact them if they provide their information to us. So we're kind of stuck with getting the word out any way we can. And with that, I'm going to make a plug for our website on the Grafton website. We also have a Facebook page out there that we post a lot of information, thanks to Bob here. He recently put out the VA does I think it's weekly, Sit Rep. So. They have a YouTube channel called the Sit Rep, and they're posting any new stuff that comes out in the VA. They do a video on it. So we've got that out on our Facebook page as well. The other thing that we did is there's a lot of veteran information out there. But if you do a Google search for it, you may find 1 or 2 items. There's 30 or 40 of them. So for example, if you like to hunt or fish, there are at least 3 different veteran groups that do that for nonprofit. So Rifles to Rods is one of them that I've participated in. Actually, a couple of weekends ago, went up to Shelburne Falls and did some trout fishing along the river there. And it's all free for veterans. But once again, we decided that we needed to corral all that information. So we created a list of these links: job searching, benefits information, nonprofits to go out into the wilderness, hunt and fish and do things like that. And we put out on our website as well. So it's really about getting this information out there, and I'm going to keep pounding that because that's really what our focus is. Also, recently we took over the Trustees of Soldiers and Sailors Memorial. So once again, I'm the chairman for that. Bob is our vice chair. Sean's our secretary for both. And we've really been looking at standing that up, getting the flow to it. Daryl's been doing a great job of taking care of the monuments around. So then where do we fit into this? So we're working with Daryl to get a list of all the monuments, figure out where he needs the help and what we can do to make that go smoother. I know, Andy, I actually just shot you an email about the flagpoles. So we still have a couple of things that we're working there, but we're moving that to a quarterly meeting to see where we stand with everything. And then the last thing, well, two things. The last two things that I want to do is invite all of you out to the Memorial Day Parade. So the Legion is putting that on again. It's going to be at noon. They're starting at Little Fenway this time because a lot of the veterans were struggling to walk from the elementary school last year. So they'll be starting at Little Fenway and just coming in around the Commons and ending over on the side in front of the church so they're not blocking traffic again. They would love to see all of y'all out there, either walking in the parade or even saying something afterwards. So we wanted to extend that invite to you. And then also, non-committee 4th of July parade is coming up too. Once again, another invite, but I'll remind y'all about that later on. So, Bob, do you have anything that you want to add?
Yeah, I had Jeff in the studio today, our veteran service agent, for an interview, and spent about 15 minutes with him. And trying, as Stoney said, trying to get everybody aware that he's new, he's there to help veterans, and they can contact him when he's on duty here in the municipal center. We're also trying to get his, I guess she's the assistant, Ashley. She'll be working an alternate schedule with Jeff, so we'll get her into the studio. So just people are used to seeing the faces. And then your involvement would be every time you see a veteran, talk to a veteran, just tell them we're out there and how to contact us. And the more information that we can gather and direct to Jeff and to Ashley, the better off they'll all be. I think that covers everything. Oh, and Stoney told me to sit here because he didn't want to share the camera.
No. So a lot of information, but the big takeaway is, as I've been foot stomping, is we need the veteran support. We need them to know that we're there, and that, you know, if they provide their information with us, then we'll, you know, keep them informed of what's going on. And also that we see ourselves as the purveyor of information. So we're not going to help them get the benefits, but we will definitely point them in the right direction. And we've already had some success with that. People that had their benefits stuck somewhere, and we were able to get them in touch with somebody else who can help them out. That's really where we're seeing the niche for this committee to be. If it's something within the town, using our resources in the town to get some of that stuff moving, and we've done pretty good. We've been pretty successful over all of that. So a lot of information, short amount of time. Are there any questions or comments?
I really appreciate you coming in and updating us. You guys have been doing a lot of work, and I think it's great that you guys came in and let us know all that.
Yeah, anytime. Let us know. Like I said, you need some laughs. That's what we're here for.
I've
You
watched
need some eye candy. That's what Bob's here for.
Speaking of which, can I tell a joke about a stone?
Go ahead.
Never mind, I'll skip it.
All right. I thought we were going to roll on through it, but
The next time you have that thought, keep it.
actually, so quick funny story. A lot of people always ask me how to spell my name, and it stopped when I told them ROCK. So you got that I spelled it wrong, but you're still going to ask me how to spell it. So okay. So yeah, I've heard it all.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Before we wanted to propose a 5K event
Oh yes.
to run around the municipal campus, start at the TV studio, run around the high school, come around the back of the municipal center, and then back out front. And we wanted to call it the Jim Gallagher Memorial 5K. So that's in the works, and we're not sure we're going to be able to pull it off this year. We're trying to, but if not, definitely next year. We just don't want to compete with anything Jen's got going on as far as rec goes. So that's in the works. And we've got other things that we'll probably approach you in the future that we might need some assistance on, but we're busy.
That's great.
Good, that's
Please,
great.
please do approach.
Yeah.
Appreciate all the hard work you guys do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your support. It means a lot.
Thanks.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
good night.
All right, up next is discuss littering and supporting a state level effort, and I'm gonna hand this over to Ray.
Yeah, so I put this on the agenda, because if you've walked anywhere in this town, which I walk a lot, you notice all of the ounce and a half bottles that are all over the place. And it's actually, it's amazing how many bottles are out there. And I know Chris LeMay said to me a few years ago that during Earth Day, they went and picked up, trash on the side of the road. And the most trash that they pick up are these little bottles. So the other thing on that is, if you go into any liquor store in the afternoon and you stand there in line, there's always someone who's buying a 6-pack of these bottles and a 40-ouncer. So if you don't know what a 40-ouncer is, it's a big beer. Now, that's another issue. They're drinking that on the way home. They're not going home and sitting in their yard and whacking them down. I'm speaking.
Allegedly.
So, because they have to be drinking them on the way home because they're all over the place. So, I don't want to hurt the businesses in town. There's no, liquor stores do an unbelievable business on these bottles. But there have been, the city of Boston, I think Cambridge has adopted, bans on these bottles. What I would like to see is, I would like to see us, through MMA or through other towns or just directly to our representatives, Mike and David, to put a 5% return deposit on these bottles. People will pick them up. They're all over the place. And it's really something that we need to get on board with, because it's horrible when you walk down the road and you see these all over people's lawns. They're all on the side of the roads. It's awful. The ban, that's pretty drastic. That would be really putting a hurt on our businesses in town. But I would really like this board to take the initial step to petition the state for a 5-cent deposit on all of these bottles.
So will you draft the petition for us
Yep.
to consider? Great.
Yep, absolutely.
What's everybody's thoughts on that?
Yeah, I had mentioned, I think last week, just that I'd approached 2 of the liquor stores in town a number of years ago, though, relative to this exact issue, just to see, what their profit margin is on these things and how they would feel about something like that. And both of them indicated, now one of them has since turned over in terms of the man or who owns it, but they both indicated that they would love it in part because they pick them up all around their establishment, of course, more than we see them even on the side of the road. However, there was a significant margin, even though they're relatively inexpensive, and then there's also not just the margin, but the other things that the person might grab when they're grabbing these, right? So it was
Slim Jims.
something, whatever it is, yeah, maybe. There would be an impact. It wasn't just the dollar or whatever they cost, right?
Yeah.
So,
There is a high profit on it.
yeah, that's what
It
he
absolutely
said.
is a
Yeah,
high
we both
profit
said.
on those bottles.
Yeah.
So to add another 5 cents, and I'm not saying that the people who, whatever, they consume them on a regular basis aren't gonna throw them out the window because the evidence is gone. But somebody's gonna pick those things up,
Right.
and they're gonna make a ton of money. So, and that's a good thing. So,
Yeah.
and we get our streets cleaned up.
To your point, though, that's what I was going with that too, is just that's why I didn't pursue kind of the trying to ban them here.
Yeah,
It does
right.
mean something to them. But I mean, so you said there's a couple of communities that have this?
They have the ban in place
Oh,
already.
ban,
Yeah,
but not
yeah.
the 5 cent.
No, the
deposit.
5 cent is being discussed, well, it on a very limited basis down in Capital City, but it's not, we need us to make an initial step and then, gain support from more cities and towns to have this 5-cent deposit on these bottles.
Okay.
I'd support that.
So, let us know when you're ready to bring it back on the agenda and we
Yep.
can discuss your petition and keep moving it forward.
Yep.
All right, thank you for bringing that.
Sorry.
Up next is change order number 130 for the Grafton Public Library CTA Construction Managers.
Do we want to discuss it at all?
Yes.
Sure. You teeing
Oh,
it
do
up?
I want to discuss it? Yeah, I want to hear all about it first.
I'm brokering a discussion between Ray and William.
Oh,
okay, I
no,
see.
no, Will can tell us all about it.
Yeah, so this change order is for two things. One is the replacement of a distribution box in the children's program room. That labor occurred back in January. There was apparently some confusion. The filed subbidder thought they billed the town directly, which CTA then informed them they didn't. And in the meantime, a coil in one of the HVAC systems up on the roof has given up the ghost, and we think that that's why half of the system isn't regulating properly. That cost was originally going to be about $6,600. We had a meeting with CTA, our project manager, and that vendor. We had a very long discussion with them, agreed to split the cost with us, which is a solution that really didn't leave anybody happy, because we had varying opinions on that. But so this change order covers both of those things in the amount of $8,921.
My turn?
Any thoughts, Ray?
So are we outside of the 12-year warranty period?
12-month.
Yeah, 12, it should be 12 years on that building.
Feels like it's been
It-
12 years.
Yeah, yeah. So we're outside the 12-month.
Yeah, the 12 months
Yeah.
started when we occupied the building, even without the full.
And that was based on the contract documents that stated that, or is that based on a final occupancy permit?
It was based on the contract documents, from my understanding.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then you did a good job to get half of it.
Thanks. I know that that's not what you or any of us wanted to hear, but
Oh, not at all.
yeah.
Not at all.
And so the first line item is, that's 5,400. I see where the 3,347 is 50% of down below, but that 5,400 is 50% of something else?
Nope, so that 5,400 is the distribution box.
Okay.
That
So
happened.
that's not in the body of what we got. Sorry to interrupt.
No, so
Okay.
we got 50% off of the cost of the labor for
Yeah.
the coil replacement.
Okay.
The coil itself was warranted,
The coil itself is warranted, yes.
but the labor was not.
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? All right, take a motion.
I move the board vote to approve change order number 130 to CTA Construction Managers for the Grafton Public Library.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Declare the motion carried. Up next is select board reports. Does anybody have any reports?
I can tell you the bylaw review committee continues to review bylaws
Here we go.
at a breakneck pace. It's going very well. We have a lot up on the town website right now that the town can, that residents can review and provide feedback on, and a bunch more in the pipeline. So we are well on track for the October town meeting.
Great.
Just a quick one on affordable housing. I'm not sure if I updated you guys on this or not, but we have awarded the RFP for 25 Worcester Street. So that was a big milestone for that project. So we now have a developer, which is great.
Very nice.
Excellent.
Who is the developer?
It's Worcester Community Housing, I think is the name of the corporation. They're a nonprofit. They came in and they did a presentation for us. I think they will turn out to be the kind of developer that we want to work with. The RFP that we wrote was challenging to build because of the funding mechanisms that you need to put together for that type of project. And they got very creative with how they did it and how they funded it. And I think that they will provide the kind of partnership-oriented project with some flexibility that that the town would prefer, as opposed to a large for-profit developer. So, really good news there.
Great.
It's going to be, because of the grants and funding cycles and all that stuff, many years before anything happens, but that's one of the first steps. So it's good.
Very nice. Any other reports? right, town administrator report.
I do not have one of those.
Moving on to correspondence. Does anybody have any correspondence they want to discuss?
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was, sorry. I was just gonna ask if the correspondence, anybody had contact with, M Church, and it seems like we've received a couple of correspondences from this person, primarily regarding
Yes, so
issues in Westboro, maybe?
yeah, they are not a resident of Grafton.
Yeah.
So, we've had limited contact, but we're also actively not engaging due to the nature of what they are.
So the only sort of connection we have is with our animal control.
Right, but
Service.
Westboro is the host community.
Yep.
And he has a complaint about Westboro's services, which we do not have the same concerns or complaints.
Okay.
So it's not a regional. We're I mean it is, but we're the subscriber, so to speak.
I see.
So it's not. We don't have a board or anything to bring that to. So that's going to stay in Westboro.
Okay. Thanks.
In reading it, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
It seemed that they weren't residents and didn't really have anything to do with us.
Right. The other complaints had to do with the library, and we dealt with them at a local level. But he's still a resident of Westboro, so.
Okay.
So I just wanted to comment on the pickleball thing that was in the packet, and I'm only doing it because it ended up in the packet along with the video and an email I had sent. So in part because just I feel like my name is kind of all over it. And just to clarify, I volunteered to attend this meeting last week, kind of on my time, trying to hopefully to provide like a mitigating effect for the parties that were involved. I was not there to micromanage any department, town administrator's office, nor recreation department in any way, shape, or form, nor was I there to champion any group per se. I truly was there to try to provide some, again, a mitigating force, I suppose, for lack of a better word, to try to see if I could help in any way to move this forward in a positive way, which I think it should be a positive thing, right? And, just in terms of, as folks who know me probably know, I am animated as I think about things, as I ponder things and or try to listen to people. And I just kind of reviewed the video after, that comment, and I was fully aware that I was on screen, and I certainly don't feel that I offended anyone with my mannerisms when I was during the meeting. And so, the word was uttered unbelievable at the end, and I think it's, it is in fact true that I was trying to make this a positive interaction as well as I could. And if anyone has any questions on this board for me, I'm happy to entertain them. Anybody out there, I'd rather to speak with folks if they have any concern with my involvement in any of these things, for sure. I hope that everyone knows that I'm very available to everybody in the town. And if there are no further questions, I'll leave it at that.
Is that something you wish to discuss tonight, or you would rather discuss more one-on-one?
That doesn't matter. Whatever the chair would prefer.
Yeah, I mean, if you're comfortable having that conversation, you brought it to the board right now, so if anybody has anything to say, I guess.
And I only brought it up because it was in the correspondence.
Yeah, because it was, the whole board received it, so that's how it gets in correspondence.
I understand.
Yep. I guess my only comment to that is that just what a fantastic job our staff does, because sometimes they're not always spoken to in the most kind manner, and I do think that Jen Anderson was a champion in that meeting.
Madam Chair.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Matt.
I guess I just wanted to articulate the importance for this board to just stand behind our town administrator, the administration's office, and all of our department heads. It's really important for us to be unified in that support. So I guess that's all I'll say.
And I hope if you watch the video, in fact, when I ended it, I thought to myself, I really wasn't as much of a champion of the folks down there playing different sports, I thought, as I was trying to get information from the town. So I don't know if that didn't come across, but I really felt that I was leave it at that.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, Maria, I didn't find anything, offensive or anything like that. I did watch it. You know, as most of you know, I can't watch things for a long time, and I couldn't watch the whole thing. But I didn't find anything offensive from you at all. I think the meeting could have got out of hand, didn't. And the word pickleball was said way too many times. But that's pretty much it. There was, you know, you stepped in, you helped out. It's fine.
That's what I tried to do. That was simply it. I tried to step in and help out. And I'll continue to do so.
Just don't say pickleball so many times.
I don't know if I did. I play tennis.
I think
It's my first
everybody
sport,
did.
As a matter of fact. I can't now, but
I feel like I'm going to be the dissenting opinion here, because I didn't love the way that meeting went. I didn't feel like your comments came from a collaborative space so much as they did, you know, wanting more access to what rec does. And I felt like that effort right there was a bit of an overstep, because Jen is a department head, and we're not supposed to, you know, dictate what they're supposed to be doing or insert ourselves into their day-to-day, really. I did feel like you advocated more for the pickleball players than, you know, maybe defending some of the answers that the rec department had in that situation. That could be just my personal feeling. I felt like from the start, you implied that if you had been a part of this discussion months ago, perhaps we'd be in a different place. And I felt like that set a poor tone from the start. And I empathized for Miss Anderson throughout the course of the call. It was disappointing to hear some of the residents' criticism and you know, some of the negativity around what should be a really great project and something that the town has put a lot of effort into. There's only, you know, we really can't control resident feedback, I guess, in that scenario. But I felt as a face of this board, a little more care could have been taken in that discussion.
I will say I wholeheartedly feel that had I been involved in some way, shape, or form with getting more information, I really feel that some of the animosity could have been avoided, knowing some of the players.
That's also, I don't
That's
think,
my
really
opinion.
your role. You know, that's up to rec to decide how that information gets disseminated and released to the public. And
Well, and what I would say that
she-
actually,
she offered at the end to try and involve you more in pushing out that information once rec has released it, and you didn't seem interested in that part. It seemed to me like your interest was in servicing that one pickleball community exclusively, and they're not the only residents who are going to be using the facility. I understand it was a call focused on pickleball, but that's my feeling.
yeah, and I would say au contraire. I've actually been advocating for that space not to be fully used for pickleball because, in fact, I see a lot of people playing tennis, I see people playing basketball, and I'm a firm advocate for it to remain a multi-use facility. And folks down there that play pickleball will tell you that I differ on them in terms of the use. So I've been trying to utilize my time to, again, mitigate the wants of folks playing a particular sport with what is possible and what we should be, doing down there. And I think by no means did I go into that. I don't want to get into too much backstory, but I had no intention. I was just going to be a casual observer for that meeting, as a matter of fact. I was just invited I'd mentioned it to Evan, and he was, invited me to just be there. And then when those couple of emails came in, I saw them just that morning. I thought perhaps it might be better if I somewhat took the lead. So that wasn't my intention 24 hours before, 12 hours before, as a matter of fact. But I thought that given the two emails that are also in the packet, perhaps I might use my time to try to be the voice of it without being prepared and without having put much thought into that whatsoever. And so I really did my best to try to glean some information from recreation that these folks have been, asking about. And in the end, actually, we found out, everyone that was there, found out some positive developments that folks didn't know. And in fact, at the end of it, Jen said that she did not want me to be the liaison whatsoever. That was very clear. So that I know that Evan mentioned that he did, but Jen made it clear that she didn't. So sorry, my phone is ringing. So that's the opposite of that. That's kind of how it ended, which is perfectly fine, and that's why the meeting was essentially done, and I also was on my third tow truck of the day, which was distracting, but that's neither here nor there. Jen, I thought, made it quite clear at the end that she didn't need me or to be involved, which is fine. But I am no way micromanaging or trying to manage any department. I manage my own business. I'm all set in that regard. Happy to help, happy to advocate for folks who are reaching out to me, and happy to advocate for people in this building.
Any further comments?
Just one. I guess, as we think about how it all went down, as a board, I think we have to decide if we're going to have a liaison or a lead. We should decide that as a board. I don't think that's up to individual members to make those decisions. If we're going to have a representative, I think it is a respectful, courteous thing to do, to discuss what the issue is and agree as a board how we're going to deal with that. And I think that is appropriate in some cases for sure. Having a liaison, having somebody take the lead. The land acknowledgement was a good example of that. But we discussed it as a board, and I think, that's just as a common courtesy, I'd appreciate that heads up and that discussion as a board before we move forward as individuals with that kind of capacity representing the board.
I guess when I say liaison, I was thinking more, the sharing of information wasn't effective between the recreation department for whatever reason, not, nothing to do with me, and the folks down there in that one particular sport, probably for maybe a year. Just, but so I wasn't attending that meeting with the intention of the courts it's a done deal, eh? What's happening down there, so that's perfectly fine. It almost didn't matter. But
I think I would just be careful with how you're choosing your words and saying that the communication was ineffective, because that almost sounds like Jen did something wrong and she absolutely did not.
the communication was not effective because the parties, unfortunately, whatever, had occurred. I don't know.
Who decides what was effective communication? Again, some of the residents, I understand they've had issues with that, but I have not been a part of those correspondences or seen any of those, but it just sounds like a very subjective thing. It's easy for one person to feel like they're not getting enough information on a subject when they've been getting the information that's available.
Again, I'm not saying that the communication with folks playing these sports was ineffective, nor the communication up here at the town hall. I'm more, it was almost like it wasn't getting through the message. And sometimes that becomes an issue with historical feelings, ego, I don't know, what have you, things that have occurred. And it becomes, if you've been in business, that that you need to somehow break down that barrier or have someone come in and try to help to mitigate this, where at the end of the day, it's a positive project, right? And somehow we can, celebrate that and feel that people feel that they've been heard. So I'm not so much saying that there's a communication issue here nor there in terms of their ability to communicate. It's just in this instance, it wasn't, I don't think it was working. I think we probably got more information out of that meeting than we would have had I not been there, in my opinion. So,
Great.
yeah.
Yep.
Move on.
Yep.
Yep.
Thanks for
Thanks.
clarifying.
Next is resignations.
I move the board vote to acknowledge and accept the resignations of Paula Porkazelski and Marcia Platt as election workers for the town of Grafton.
Thanks. Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Declare the motion carried. And thank you guys for your service. Up next is public comment. Is there anybody on Zoom?
There are no hands on Zoom.
All right. Oh, Mr. Milton.
Paul Milton, 53 Follett Street. In discussion earlier today with family and some other friends and citizens, and I mentioned I was going to be coming to the meeting tonight. They said maybe if I had the opportunity to mention, recently it was publicized in the Grafton News. I haven't seen the article myself, but there was some sort of a class or whatnot held at the public library where someone was doing a class on growing plants and whatnot, and they were growing cannabis plants. And we all thought that was kind of strange that was happening at the Grafton Public Library. And I don't know, maybe I don't know all of the details, so I'm going to leave it at that. But we thought that was rather strange that would happen, and I just wanted, I'm sure you're aware of it or whatnot, so I don't know if anybody had mentioned it or if there's something I need to know, but it just seems strange. So I said I'd mention something while I was here today, so. Thank you.
Did anybody know about that?
Yes.
Yeah, it was on social media.
Oh,
was a-
see, that's that thing I'm not on.
And it was a 21 plus event, I guess, as well.
Oh, jeez.
One meeting I didn't go to, Ray, so sorry. Can't
Yeah.
say.
And
Growing plot plants in a library? What would
No,
be
not,
next?
not in the library.
Oh,
on
what
the,
will be
yeah,
next?
that's the new green roof now.
That's now in the news. Here we go.
No, and I wouldn't speak
$13
for the
million
library or their
for
event. I think it was a little tongue-in-cheek thing because it was held on April 20th, which tends to be
420.
Cannabis Celebration Day. And just also note that it is a legal product that you can grow in your garden and at your house at this point.
You get caught with a pack of cigarettes in the parking
Okay, if you're gonna speak, you have to be at
I'm
the.
sorry.
No problem, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Pam Fitzgerald. I live at 11 Patricia Drive, and I just like to say that Anne Marie couldn't have been more courteous and professional and understanding and open-minded about the situation that had been occurring down at Ferry Street. And as a resident of this town for 25 years, I am so happy and pleased that someone like herself is on the select board.
Thank you. Any other comments? Is there anybody on Zoom?
Nope.
All right. We have a couple set of meeting minutes to approve.
I move the board vote to approve the meeting minutes for April 11 and April 18, 2023 as written.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Declare the motion carried. We do have a reason to go into executive session this evening. General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A6, to consider the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property if the chair declares that an open, I think they were missing a word, may have a detrimental effect on negotiating position of the public body. I'm gonna take a motion to that effect,
So moved.
Second.
and then by roll call,
Thank you. Mead eye.
Off aye.
Roy, aye.
Jefferson, aye.
Fully aye.
Okay, declare that we're in executive session. We'll just go back to, regular session to adjourn the meeting after. Thank you, everybody.